Hello everybody, today we're doing a video for GTA Car Kits in Infinity Q50, and today we're going to show you how to install our Apple CarPlay and AndroidAuto kit. This is our version 2 of the product. So with the version 2, we have simplified things. We got rid of the microphone, we got rid of the extra wire for sound because we're able to do sound through the back of the actual head unit. We can now pair the unit to our iPhone and Android wirelessly. You can control the system through these controls in the middle. You can also control it by touchscreen. You will not lose any functionality from your original car, so if you put the car in reverse, the rear view camera will still work. If you have the 360 camera, that will still work. And now we're going to show you how to install it in this particular car. So the tools that you're going to need is a Phillips screwdriver, our panel removal tool, which we call the hook tool, and this is our regular panel removal tool. And of course, you're going to need our kit. So now we're going to use our hands and we're going to remove these two leather pieces on the side, and we're going to just lift up the armrest a little bit, and then we're going to use our hands and these panels just pop off, same as on the driver's side. Now you can put them away. Now again, with the armrest open, we're going to lift up this piece that has the cup holders, so you will release it from that corner and now this corner, and you just work your way down towards the front of the car, and here just lift it up. Now we'll use our Phillips screwdriver and we're gonna undo these two bolts. There's one right here and one on the other side. Now we will remove this shift knob, and in order to do that you will have to bring down this leather part, and then we're gonna use our hook tool in order to release this metal clip. It just comes off. Make sure not to lose this. Once you remove the clip, you can just take and lift up the shift knob. Next we grab this piece of the dashboard and we'll lift it up, and we're going to work our way towards the front. And once there's enough space, you're going to be able to stick your finger underneath here. You got to make sure that the car's foot brake is on, because we're going to press down this white piece and we're going to shift the gear selector down. I'm going to show you. I was pressing down on this. That releases the gear selector, and this panel we can just keep here on the side during the installation. Now we will start removing these vents on both sides. We start from the bottom. We're going to use our panel removal tool, and it comes off, same as on the driver's side. Again, with using our Phillips, there's two bolts, one on this side and one on the other. We're going to remove them. Now we can remove this panel, so the lower screen. You start from the bottom. Once you have it unclipped, there's 3 more clips on top. We're going to tilt it, and there's some connections that we have to disconnect at the back. So these ones, you just press the clips. And then this one also has a clip on top, but it's convenient to use your screwdriver to press on that clip in order to disconnect it. Now as you see, there's 4 bolts on top and 2 at the bottom, and we're going to remove all of them. So now we can grab the screen, we're going to tilt it and remove it, and then the back of it, there's 2 connections, the white ones, so that you just press the clip and remove them. And then there's all of these ones, so for the colorful ones, you can just use your screwdriver and press on them one by one. And this black one, just press and remove it. And now we're going to be able to take our screen inside, and we're going to install our circuit board inside. So here we have our screen. We're going to be using these 3 tools, so Phillips screwdriver, our panel removal hook tool, and these thin nose pliers. You're going to need our kit, and you're also going to need this cloth, which we're going to use to work on the screen so we don't scratch anything. But first I'll show you what comes inside our kit. So you have your main circuit board plus 2 video cables, which we're going to install inside the screen. Then you have your main module, which gets hidden behind the dashboard. This is your main harness, and we're going to show you how to connect it inside your car. And this is our video cable that will go along our circuit board into the screen. Then you have your wireless antenna and some Velcro tape in order to secure the module. So we're going to start disassembling this screen. We're going to be using our Phillips. So first we're going to remove the 2 brackets. So then on top and bottom of the screen, there's 2 bolts each, so we're going to remove them. This is our top of the screen. We're going to do the sides. They also have 2 bolts each. I'll just flip it over so you can see these. And now there's 4 more bolts at the back of the screen. So now we can open up the screen. And here you're gonna have one connection for the fan, which you have to press this clip and disconnect it. We can just put it to the side. There's one more bolt here in the middle, which we have to unscrew. Now we're gonna disconnect a few things. So we're gonna disconnect this small wire. We're gonna disconnect this flat cable here. We're gonna disconnect this one. And we're gonna use our hook tool to disconnect this one also. Here it just lifts up. And now you can remove the original circuit board. So this is the circuit board that comes with our kit. So we're gonna do a few connections to it. And these are the 2 cables for video and touchscreen. So we're first gonna connect this cable over here. You have to make sure that it's all the way in, then you lock it in place. Then we're gonna do the big one. Here, I'm just gonna show you. You have to line it up perfectly with these corners here. If you insert it way too far in or on this, it's gonna be sideways, then it's not gonna work properly. Once it's lined up, you just lock it in place. Also, a good point to connect the original connection. So you have to lift up this clip, connect that, and then lock it in place. You gotta make sure that it's straight. Now we're feeding the original one through this opening. We're gonna open up this lock. I'm gonna put it in. Same thing. You gotta make sure that it lines up perfectly with this edge right here and right there. Once it lined up, you can lock it in place. Then see over here, you're gonna get these 3 little plastic rivets that are gonna be used to hold our circuit board in place so it doesn't move around. Now you will take this video cable that comes with our kit, and you're also going to attach this video cable right here into this connection. Make sure that it's all the way in. So now we're going to put back the original circuit board on top of our circuit board. Over here in the beginning of this segment, I showed you these thin nose pliers, and that's in order to connect this connection back, but I'm going to show you how to do it with your fingers. Just these small nose pliers make it a little easier sometimes. So you're going to make sure to move away this wire. A lot of people forget it inside, but you have to make sure to connect it. So we're gonna, with this connection open, we're gonna grab it like that. We're gonna connect it, and we're gonna make sure that it's straight. And now we can lock it in place. So we always suggest to do that one first because it's tough to do. Second one, you can do this one. That's the one for the fan. Once you have it plugged in, now you can put in this bolt in the middle. Now we can do the rest of the wires. So then there's this one to connect back. Next, we're gonna do this small one. So this is our cable that gets plugged in into the, instead of the original cable. You have to lift up the clip, put it inside, make sure it's straight and all the way in. And then you lock it in place. And then the last one is this one. Same thing, don't insert it too far. Line it up with these edges right here, here and here. And then you can lock it in place. And now we can cover everything. At this point, make sure that this video cable is still plugged in. And here, there's this little opening that lets you put this cable through. And now we can assemble and put all the bolts back. Now we need to reattach the brackets, and you're going to determine that this is the top of the screen. It has this little piece, so that's how you determine which is the correct size for these brackets. So now the screen has been assembled, and all you're left with this one extra wire. Now we're going to bring it to the car and connect everything back. So now we're back in the car. So before installing the screen, we have to connect all of our harnesses. So we're going to show you all the connections. So the big one and the medium size connections, they go right behind the screen. We'll plug them in into the original ones. Then this one, the smallest one, gets plugged in behind the stereo. This is the end that gets plugged into our module, which we're going to hide right here. There's enough space for it. And then there's also USB cable, which we're going to run right here to the side. So it's nicely tucked away here. So that way you don't need to run any wires into the armrest compartment, and you just focus on installing everything here. We already showed you how to remove the bolts, and we're ready to remove the stereo. As you remember, our gear selectors select all the way down, the foot brake is on. So at the back of the stereo, we're going to get to this connection. This is the one we're going to use for sound. I'm going to take the smallest one from our kit. We'll plug in the original one into the female end, and then we'll take the male end, plug it into the back of the stereo. Now we will take our USB cable and we will feed it on the side here. And as you can see, now it's right here. Now we will take these two, so the biggest one and the medium size, and we're gonna run them from the back here. We have the big one, this is our medium size. So we'll start connecting them. We'll connect the original one into our harness, same with this one. So you end up with these two new ones instead of the original ones. Now in the middle here, you gotta make sure that you don't drop these original wire. This gets plugged into the second lower screen. And here you're gonna see this is from our harness that will plug into our module. The rest of the wires we can tuck away behind. And at this point you can put the head unit back. So this is what you should end up with. These are original. This is from our kit. We will take our module and we'll connect this to the power side. So now we're gonna take our screen, and this is the video cable from the screen, and our goal also to feed it around here. Make sure not to pull too hard on this cable so it doesn't come out from the circuit board, as we've seen it happen before. And now we can start doing all the connections at the back of the original screen. So we first suggest to do the first row. And then you can do the top row. And now you're gonna tilt the screen, put in the top, like that. We're now also gonna connect the video cable into our module. The last thing is to connect our Wi-Fi antenna. And then Wi-Fi antenna just simply clips on. And in this car, you can keep it here. It's a good enough spot. And now you can just tuck in the module so it's not in the way of anything. So now we will connect this lower screen. And as you can see, we haven't installed all the bolts back because we're just doing this for testing to make sure that everything is installed correctly. So you need to connect these wires at the back. So there's 3. And now we're gonna test everything. So now we're testing everything before assembly. So as you can see, the screen is supposed to turn on. You're gonna see original map view. And you're just gonna check that the touchscreen is working, and it's working. Then you're gonna set the actual sound source to auxiliary. It's already set to auxiliary. Now we're gonna press and hold the back button here. And before we do that, we're also gonna remove the original SD card from navigation. That way, when you're controlling CarPlay with the scroll wheel in the middle, or you can also control it with the touchscreen, that it doesn't interfere with the original navigation. We're gonna press and hold the back button. As you can see, CarPlay is showing up. We can control it through our menu here. We're also gonna check that the music is working. Yep, the sound is working. You're able to do all the CarPlay stuff. And if you would connect your Android phone, you would have AndroidAuto here. So now that you tested everything, we're gonna go ahead and remove this lower screen and start assembling everything back. So now after testing, we can assemble everything back. We're gonna start putting in these bolts, 4 on top and 4 at the bottom. You gotta make sure that these metal brackets are lined up with these plastic pins. That way everything goes back in its original place. Now we can put the lower screen back. Again, the 3 connections. First put in the top, then work your way down. Now we can put the 2 bolts back. Now we can put the vents back. We start with the top. Now we can put the center console back. Now there's 2 more bolts to secure right here. Now the cup holders go back in. This edge goes in first. Then you work your way back. Now you can put back the shift knob and then secure it with this clip. And now the leather trim on the sides can go back in. You start at the front, work your way back. So now everything has been assembled. The only extra wire is this USB connection right here. And now you can use the kit either by using the original touchscreen or you can use it with a scroll wheel in the middle here. So again, this was a video for GTA Car Kits and Infinity Q50, and today we showed you how to install our Apple CarPlay and Android Auto kit. This is our version 2 of the kit. I hope you liked the video, and we'll see you next time.